Hey guys, Sergeant No Rep here, and day one of the CrossFit Games is halfway over here. We had team event number one, our CrossFit Mayhem Freedom knocked it out of the park. If you want to go back and watch my previous stream, there's pretty much a 4-hour stream. It has all the events in through that. This video is mainly just a little update show, so for this one, I'm just going to have the men's final heat. So like I said, Team Mayhem Freedom, they won that. For the men, I'm going to show you the final heat here. And I'm not going to tell you, obviously, who won beforehand. There was some notable knockouts, because remember, half the field's cut. Nothing too crazy, so I hope you enjoy it. We have a 400-meter run, 3 legless rope climbs, 7 squat snatches at 185 pounds. You saw earlier in the heats that some of the guys were really having an issue with the legless rope climbs and the 185 pounds. You won't see that in this heat. This is all kind of your top 50 individuals. So another 2 minutes and the heat will kick off. So let's watch it. So here's the lane assignments. Let's see some Sean Sweeney, the CrossFit Cowboy, Lucas Esslinger, Chandler Smith, the military guy, Jonah Koski, Saxon Panchik, Pat Bellner, Alex Minot. He's kind of been injured the last few years. Samuel Quant, Streech Horner, Scott Panchik, George Sterner, Cole Sager. So you can see this is all the top guys that you've come here. Borden Cardinal Gudmundsson. So a lot of people say he'll be up on the podium. Matt Fraser, Jacob Hepner, another Canadian, Jean Salmon. Who do we got here? Jason Carroll, Travis Mayer, Frederick Egidius, Logan Collins, Casper Geldermark. He's a rookie this year. Jeffrey Adler, Tim Paulson, Willie George out of France, Elliot Simmons out of Great Britain. What do we got? Adrian Lundwather, Noah Olson. So all the big names are here. Those were the lane assignments. So this group here, I would say pretty much all of them should almost beat everybody. So a good majority of these guys will probably beat Brent Fikowski and push him down. So there's Matt Fraser, defending champion. So let's go to the full screen here. So we got 30 seconds till it kicks off. It's a nice little touch on the 16, 17, 18 champion there. Four, 3, 2, and they're off. No rep them all, they all started too early. There's Pat Vellner. Looks like he's got a tan this year. Nice to see. Look at Jason Smith just flying out there. That's what I said about this heat. You see a lot of better times here. So Jason Smith, the one that you see leading the pack there, he's out of South Africa, the national champion there. He finished 70th, 7-0 in the World Wide Open this year. There's Sean Sweeney. I wish he was wearing his cowboy hat. I wonder if he asked to wear his cowboy hat and maybe they told him no. He's got a ball cap on there. There's Pat Bellner, Chandler Smith, Jonah Koski. So before, where you saw a lot of separation with the top guys, these guys will tend to be all bunched up because the higher level of fitness, there's not going to be as much separation. Melmo Olivio, thanks, appreciate that. something fun I could do where CrossFit wasn't going to do their own basically show this year. They allowed people just to apply and do their own commentary. So being a big fan of CrossFit, I thought I'd do it. It'd be fun. So there's Matt Fraser coming out to the barbell. No surprise there. Sean Sweeney in the back left corner. I see Patrick Vellner's wisp of hair going there as well. So this is going to be a good heat. These guys are going to battle right through. Matt Fraser wants every point he can get. I think Matt Fraser's going to come in and make a statement because there's a lot of talk about this new point system, how it's going to affect Matt Fraser. I think he's just going to blow it out of the water and just say, I don't care what the point system is, I'm still just going to destroy everybody. So 185 pounds here for Matt Fraser. As everybody, it's used way too much, but he's a former Olympic weightlifter. This is nothing for him. So interested to see where he comes off the field at. So he's going to go down and move his thing first. On the far end of the field, too, there was Pat Vellner. You can see him there, and Sean Sweeney, the CrossFit Cowboy. Seems like they're right on pace with him. And actually, Sean Sweeney would be ahead of him just on their placement coming out of the stadium here, as you can see. So I'm excited, obviously being a Canadian myself, I'm excited for Pat Vellner. I hope this year he can go without any hiccups. Like last year he had the bike break-in, he fell off the obstacle course, the rig there. So let's see if he can have a nice clean CrossFit Games and how close he can come to Matt Fraser. So it's been made known that, it's funny, Dave Castro's not a big fan of Sean Sweeney. Sean Sweeney's a little bit of a loudmouth fun guy, but I enjoy him. Fans like seeing that. The guy with a little bit of emotion, like guys like Matt Fraser and Vellner, they're so stoic, but it's nice to have somebody that has a little bit of emotion, has fun out there on the competition floor. So I don't expect anybody's going to try to pull away here. They've got a very good pace going, so those three will probably stay together. They'll separate themselves on the barbell or the rope climbs. Yeah, Ward City, I was in Madison the other year. I loved it there. I wish I could have went back this year, but I'll probably try to get back to the games next year as an attendee spectator, not as a competitor, obviously. So there's the three guys, Sean Sweeney, Patrick Vellner, Matt Fraser. If they keep up this pace, those will be the top three in the event as well. Oh, that's cool, Mo. I'll have to go look at that. I didn't know I was listed there. That's pretty neat, actually. So now you can see, like, these guys compared to, like, the first heat, some of the national champions were really struggling. Some of them were falling off the ropes. But these guys are going up quicker legless than I do leg rope climbs. There's Matt Fraser. This should be his third and final rope climb. And there's Pat Vellner, sporting, like I said, a little bit of a tan. It's good to see on the fellow Canadian. So it looks like Fraser's going to get to the barbell first, but you have to remember Pat Vellner and Sean Sweeney are closer to exiting the stadium. But as long as Matt can get a few reps ahead of them, it won't make... Yeah, Mel, I definitely think Pat Vellner will be second again this year. Unless he truly messes up, I think Pat Vellner has separated himself from the rest of the field. You have Matt Fraser at number one. That's clearly way ahead of everybody else. Pat Vellner has closed that gap, but I think he's actually closed it a little bit more this year to Matt Fraser, and in doing so separated himself from the rest of the field. So as long as he doesn't have some big mistake, I think Pat Vellner will be fine for second. So there's Matt Fraser. He moved his chest piece, or whatever you want to call it, ripping off the shirt as he's heading out of the stadium. And so it looks like Sean Sweeney has trailed off a little bit. Now Matt Fraser looks like he's going to leave the stadium before Patrick Vellner, but he won't be too far behind him there. You see him pop out pretty soon there. There he is. So if you're looking at obviously Matt Fraser and Patrick Vellner, Matt Fraser this year in the World Wide Open, like always, he came in first. He won the Open, so that made his placement in this event. So he got the best lane, basically in the middle for this event. And Patrick Vellner, he came in 30th in the Open, very respectable. So put him in that first heat. You just wanted to be in the top 50 basically, so you get this final heat, so you knew what you were chasing. So remember, this is a 20-minute time cap. Matt Fraser's our current leader there right now. And this is, what was it? This is number 3 of 4 heats. So their time is actually quite fast right now. So the time to beat, I think, is at 16, was around 24, 23. James Newberry, Ben Smith came in at 16:28. So these guys are on pace to beat that. So it looks like Vellner closed the gap a little bit on Fraser, but Vellner has to run a little farther to get to the ropes because he's down at the end, whereas Matt Fraser's right in the middle there. So Matt will chalk up quickly, and up the rope he goes. There's Chandler Smith. He's a current active military member. He qualified for the games through the Rogue Invitational. He didn't win the Rogue Invitational because you had the big names like Matt Fraser, Patrick Vellner. They were all there. But I think he came in somewhere around 6th, or maybe it was 5th or 4th, right around there. And that was enough to get him an invite to the CrossFit Games because everybody above him already qualified. So there's Matt Fraser, finishes legless rope climbs, no problem. And he's off to the barbell at 185 pounds. This will be no problem for him. So 16:21.19 from James Newberry, the second heat. So Matt Fraser's going to definitely beat that. So there's Vellner up above, Fraser down below. So they're going to head out for their final run right after these. And like I said, they still have roughly 6 minutes now to complete this final lap. So Fraser will have no time, no issue coming in underneath that. So just taking his time. He's looking down at Pat, giving him a little look. Pat's actually looks like he's struggling a little bit. He's put his hands on his knees over top of that barbell quite a few times. He missed it again. This is not good. I don't know what's going on with Pat Vellner there, but 185 pounds should not be a struggle like this for Pat Vellner. So let's see. He addresses the bar here again. Come on, get it up there, Pat. There you go. That's actually kind of surprised me. I remember last year, actually, it was one of the final events, and Matt Fraser failed a couple times. I think it was on an overhead snatch or something like that, or a clean and jerk, and when you don't expect it. So these guys, sometimes they get kind of complacent. They know they're doing really well, and they just because 185 pounds is hard if you're not paying attention. So that kind of separated Matt Fraser and him. It looks like Chandler Smith now is coming on the field. So like I said, Chandler Smith qualified through the Rogue Invitational. Always liked him as an athlete. And he actually performed very well in the Open, coming in 40th. So there's Pat Vellner. As I mentioned before, he came in 30th in the Open. But I don't like seeing that little slip up from Pat Vellner. That I think was more of a mental thing than anything. So you see these guys as they're running, they're kind of shaking out their arms, getting the blood flowing back to those forearms, because your forearms really blow up on those legless rope climbs. And then by the time you've done this 400-meter run, you want your arms to be recovered enough that you can knock out 3 legless rope climbs pretty quick. Yeah, Amy, I definitely agree with you. Like Chandler Smith, with his one thing I like about Chandler Smith with his military background, and you can see him as he's running, there's an extremely fit individual, but he definitely will have the mental side. Somebody that's trained in the military, combat ready, they'll definitely going to have a mental game above a lot of other people. So if he can put it all together and you get some of the events to line up for him, Chandler Smith will definitely move up. Being a rookie this year, you could definitely see Chandler Smith in the top 10. Do I think he's going to podium? I don't think he'd be on a podium position, but definitely a top 10, which is very respectable for a rookie. So this is the fight. This is the group here for second place. You got Chandler Smith, Pat Vellner. As long as Pat Vellner doesn't have something hurt and something wrong with those snatches, I think Pat Vellner should pull it out. But I don't know what happened with Pat Vellner dropping some of those snatches. So I think that was rope climb number 2 from Matt Fraser. So he has one more to go. It's interesting, you saw Brent Fikowski, obviously he's called the Professor, but when you saw Brent Fikowski doing his rope climbs, he had chalk in his pocket, so he didn't have to get down there. He just dropped to the... Oh, look at Chandler Smith might be doing these quick. Be interesting to see if he can catch up to Matt Fraser. If he pops out 3 rope climbs, because Matt Fraser is resting a little bit there, it could be a close little finish. No, so Matt Fraser finished his 3rd here. Chandler Smith looks like he's finished his 3rd, so... Come on, Vellner. Yeah, Vellner's not looking himself there. So there's Matt Fraser. So 16, I think it was 16:24 by James Newberry. So he has 2 minutes here to complete these 7 squat snatches. So this will be nothing for Matt Fraser. So Matt Fraser will be your event number 1 winner. He'll win this heat. And barring some major collapse, he'll be the event number 1 winner. So there's Pat Vellner. Looks like he's coming off the bar 2nd. So he still has a chance to get 2nd overall. Looks like he could probably... Oh, there's Chandler Smith as well. So this will be a nice little race here between Pat and Chandler Smith. The way that Pat Vellner's looked, I think I might give this to Chandler Smith to pull out 2nd in the event. So here we go. Chandler Smith threw up one in the background. Pat Vellner, look, he's taking a rest. Chandler Smith throwing up a 2nd one. So Matt Fraser is going to be your event number 1 winner by about 1 minute 20 seconds. So let's see what happens behind us. So Pat looks like he threw up 1. And I think Chandler Smith's already down 3. This is number 4. Maybe Pat Vellner is being affected by a little bit of a tan he got there. It zapped his strength. He's not the white ghost that he usually is. And there's Chandler Smith. Come on, Chandler. I want to see Chandler Smith get 2nd in this event. This would be pretty cool. There you go. Look at he's playing to the crowd. Good for Chandler Smith. Good for him. He'll definitely be a crowd favorite if he keeps this up. He's got a personality. He's an active military guy. He's got a lot of stuff going for him. Come on, Pat, pull that up. So, Pat Vellner has about 24 seconds here to wrap up a 3rd spot finish. And as bad as this has looked, 3rd will be amazing for him. But he needs, I don't know what's going on with him here. He needs the crowd to get behind him here. So, if somebody finishes in the next 8 seconds here, they're still... So here comes James Newberry's time. So now 3rd place has gone to James Newberry. So we're coming up on Ben Smith's time right now. That's gone to Ben Smith. And Patrick Vellner looks like he'll come in 4th overall in the event. So that's still pretty good. As terrible as he's looked, to get a 4th place overall, that's fine. He can manage. Obviously, whatever's going on here, he needs to rectify it. And we'll go ahead forward with that. So I think that's Panchik that just came in there. There's Vellner. He's saying, Matt, what's going on with me? I need some help here. There's Sean Sweeney, who started off hot. He's kind of died off. He's not going to be too bad of a placement. He'll probably be in the top 15. Sounds like Noah Olson just came in. So right now, guys are kind of fighting for probably the 15 to 20 type spot. So remember, our time cap for this one is 20 minutes. So for this heat, we have Matt Frazier, Chandler Smith, and Scott Panchik. But Scott Panchik won't be third overall because like James Newberry and Ben Smith will be, and Pat Vellner. Oh, I didn't see, yeah, so Pat Vellner, those guys will all be there. So unlike the other heats, we may see everybody finish this one. Obviously, we haven't seen the cameras down the field, but it looks like everybody's coming close to finishing. So you can see this event took a toll on these guys. Obviously, being out in the sun's beating down on you here. All the judges are getting the sheets signed off. Silverback, yeah, definitely Matt. I think this whole CrossFit Games will be Matt making a statement, because when they change the scoring, everybody's like, oh no, this favors everybody that's trying to catch Matt, because if Matt slips up in the final events, he could get a really low point placement. So if you come in 10th in one of the final events, you only get 10 points. If you come in 10th in this event, you get 80-some points. So people are saying that, no, it's going to favor everybody trying to chase him, but I think Matt Frazier is just going to come and destroy everybody. And you can see, being the fittest in the world, it still took a toll on him. He's been finished now for, roughly 4 minutes, and he's still over the ice bucket pouring water on him. So we're coming up to 1:10 left before the time cap there. So we're under a minute, about 45 seconds now. 45 seconds. $30 seconds until the time cap. Let's see if these guys can sneak themselves in there. That's Willie Georges out of France. I think he won the. Did he qualify through the French throwdown? I think he did. 10 seconds. And actually, just to correct myself, Willie Georges, he did do very well at the national champion in France. He placed 33rd in the Open. So we'll have some replays come up here in a second. So just to clarify everything, Matt Frazier is your Event 1 winner. No matter what goes on with the scoring, first place always gets 100 points. So Matt Frazier starts off the week. There's Dave Castro, congratulated him with 100 points. In second, was it Mr. James Newberry? So there's replay. This is where Matt Frazier was obviously a little closer to Pat Vellner. Then Pat Vellner started to have some trouble at that 185 snatch weight, which hopefully they'll have an interview or something with him afterwards. I'd like to see what was causing him to struggle with that. And there's Matt with his effortless full snatches there. Look at those. No effort. Those were no problem for him, compared to, like I said, Pat Vellner, who dropped a bunch of them. So there's Pat Vellner in the back. He dropped down to a knee and dropped the weight. He got a no rep on that one. He looked fine on his rope climbs. He looked fine on the run. This rope climb that you saw right there was in the final one. So there's, again, that's a different one that Pat Vellner dropped on. So he had a few no reps for that. So we have an interview coming up here in a second.
Well, what an awesome way to kick off day one for you here at the 2019 Reebok CrossFit Games. Now, we know how incredible of an athlete you are and how capable you are, but you came out here with nearly 150 other guys and you knew that cuts were coming. So how concerned were you about this new format?
I was comfortable thinking, if I don't get injured, I'll be fine making it on to the next round, but just want to start collecting points as early as I can.
Definitely on your way. Now, you were able to qualify for the games at the very first opportunity back in Dubai last December, so that's extended your training season. How did that prepare you?
My training seasons before were, I liked them, so I tried to keep it as close to that as I could. So I competed at Rogue, still did the Open, just kept things the same.
Well, it's great to see you back out here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So there's Matt Fraser. You never really hear him boast too much. So this gentleman here, Athlete Control, looks like a beast of a man. They're the ones that kind of tell the athletes where they have to go. He'll shuffle Matt Fraser out back. So there's the results for this heat. This is just event number one. So Matt Fraser, Chandler Smith. Actually, that's for overall. So Matt Fraser, Chandler Smith, Scott Panchik, Goodmanson, number 4, Jeffrey Adler, that's kind of a surprise, in 5th, James Newberry, 6th, Cole Sager in 7th. We didn't see any of Cole Sager during that, but he was in that final heat. Ben Smith, 8th. Really nice to see that Ben Smith qualified through the wild card just this week, and he's now top 10 in this event. Pat Vellner, 9th, and Samuel Courant out of Canada as well. So it's nice to see 3 Canadians up there on the leaderboard. But I have, after